record? Okay. So most of you know that in December, I sold my house and moved to the country. And we bought 15 acres of land on a little farm up here, close to Luann's farm, actually. And we're building our dream home at some point, hopefully before the boys graduate high school. That's what I'm praying for anyways. But I had my first taste of country was when we moved in, when we actually got onto the property. And I think that was in maybe February or March when we actually moved the camper onto the property. We lived in a camper in these camping sites and stuff, but we moved to the property and our neighbor came over and she brought me for our housewarming gift. She brought me 18 fresh free range eggs from her chickens. And I was like, oh, that's so nice at the time. And I opened the carton, y'all, they had poop on them. They're like fresh eggs. I mean, they had to have just been laid. And I asked Kevin, I'm like, what are we supposed to do with these? I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with these things. I said, but I know I ain't eating them. I don't know what we're going to do with them, but I am not eating any eggs with poop on them. That draws the line. And so she's telling me, she's like, girl, she's like, just trust me. She's like, wash them eggs. She said, just get you some Dawn dishwasher liquid. She said, wash them eggs. And she said, she said, they are good. They're better than any eggs. It's, we eat eggs all the time because we're on Singular, right? So I finally got the nerve up, came in, washed them eggs. And I'm going to tell you, I have been hooked ever since on fresh eggs. I can't even eat them from the grocery store anymore. They're sweeter. They're fluffier. They taste amazing. So she usually brings me 18 eggs every week or so. I mean, we go through the eggs here. So she usually just comes over and we'll come home. There'll be like 18, 18 pack, dozen and a half pack on my table, and we put our empty cartons out there and she just goes and fills them up because she's got all these chickens over there, and she was collecting 20 to 25 eggs a day. So she had eggs coming out they were giving them to the church, they were giving them to the homeless shelter, they were giving eggs to everybody who would take eggs. And so the last week or so she hasn't brought me any eggs. And so I was at the grocery store Sunday and I picked up a carton and I was like, oh my gosh, Kevin, I was like, I don't think I can eat these. I really don't, because I've had them since we've been eating these fresh eggs. So I sent a text to my neighbor and I said, is there any way I can get any eggs from you? And she's like, well, yeah, of course you can. She says, I'll bring them over. So when we got home, she brought them to me and she said, the reason that she hasn't been bringing them is because the chickens have slowed down laying them. She said, we were getting 20, 25 a day and now we're getting, 3 to 4. And she said, so I just went out I just went out in the yard. I went and got my shotgun and I just killed every one of the chickens because they quit laying the eggs. She said, I just shot them. They're over there dead. No, she didn't say that. She said, I go check on my chickens every day. She didn't kill her chickens just because they slowed down and quit laying eggs. She still feeds them every day. She still goes out there and she hunts for her eggs that are in her little thing, her little chicken coop. Just because they slowed down laying eggs, she didn't kill her chickens. So when she told me that, she said, it may be sparse for a little while, but it's going to pick back up. She said it's usually the weather that slows them down from laying the eggs. And so she said, but don't worry. She says, if you need them, she says, we're still getting, 3 or 4 days. She said, that's still enough for us. I just won't give them to the, we'll give them to the homeless people. Oh, that sounds horrible. But she said, she says it'll pick back up in a few weeks. Once the weather regulates, it'll pick back up. And she's had chickens forever. So I was like, I started thinking, how many of us shoot our chickens when they slow down? How many of us just stop our business and just give up on what our business is instead of just waiting for the weather to change back, or instead of waiting for the weather to to level out and for our chickens to start laying regularly again. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when, when months are hard, we've been having a harvest. I'm going to tell you, our team has been on fire. We have seen some glory days. We have seen some amazing months. We have seen some crazy things happen where people are just coming out of the woodworks. But I'm going to tell you things that this is a roller coaster business, and you've got to go ahead and get that in your head right now, that the seasons are going to change, the weather's going to change, and things may slow down for a minute. But just like the valleys I was talking about that we all go through, we never stay there. We always go through them. Same thing with our business. It may slow down a little bit, and you may not see this big abundance of this harvest every single month. But if you stick it out, even when they only maybe laying 3 to 4 instead of 20 to 25 a month, I promise you it's going to pick back up when the weather levels out, and you're going to see that big old harvest again. But that's only if you're consistent, and only if you go check chickens every day, just like she does. She checks her chickens. That's what she said. When she said, I just go out and check the chickens. I was like, yeah, I live in the country now, y'all. I am definitely not in the city anymore. They have been taking me out. But, I thought about that, and I was just like, man, she said, don't worry. She said, don't worry if it's sparse right now, because the weather's going to level out and they're going to start laying like they did. And she said it does this about twice, with the chickens, it does it about 2 to 3 times a year. And it's usually from the spring to fall, from the fall to winter, and from the winter to spring. She said that you don't usually see a big change from the spring to summer. And I was like, that's just like our business. I mean, the whole thing she was talking about. I mean, that's pretty, I don't even know why my brain works like that, but it was just like, God, that's just like us. We have this big abundance, in the spring. And the reason I think what happens is we're on about this 3 months turnaround where you start working your business really, really hard and consistently, and you do it over and over again. And usually what happens is in January, people say, I'm going to start this year and I'm going to do it this year. And then they get into their business and they do it every day and they do it every day. So when April comes, that's why April's a huge surge, because because of that, because you've been working your business, but also summer's coming and stuff. But you see this big surge when you work your business consistently. So that's one of the biggest things, that I don't want you guys to get frustrated when things slow down. I want you to, so everybody that's on this call, I'm guessing that you're probably doing your daily IPAs. And I know most of you are, because I know most of you are in those accountability groups. The ones of you who aren't, I would encourage you to get in one, because they're amazing. And I mean, the people that are in them are, they become like your little tribe inside the tribe, because everybody's shooting for the same goal. And we've got like a manager accountability group, and then a silver manager and a gold manager. So each rank you move up with the people who move up with you. And it's just, I so enjoy just watching the camaraderie and the encouragement and the motivation and the just the closeness of how everybody's getting in those groups, and how, when one person is, when one person falls, there's so many people around them just to pick them up and just be there for them. So I would encourage you to get in those groups. But when it slows down, that's what you got to ask yourself. Right here, right now, you're on this Zoom, but what about the times when the Zoom comes around and you're really discouraged and you don't get on the Zoom? That's when you have to make the choice. You have to make the choice of, am I going to keep doing this? Because I know she told me there's a harvest, but I don't know that I believe it. But am I going to keep doing it just in case she's right? Or am I just going to grab my gun and go kill my chickens? Am I just going to just let it go and not do it? Because I'm telling you, as soon as you stop, that's what's going to shut down your business. The speed of the leader is the speed of the team. What you do is going to determine what your team does. When you slow down, and the best analogy I've ever heard of this is Ryan Barson, who is actually the one that's going to be here from Zingular for our city meeting. He's our senior vice president of sales. He said, you got to think about like back in the caveman days, these big, huge concrete wheels, you know, they're sitting there. They're not going anywhere unless you push and pull and push and pull and get some momentum. It's not just going to, you know, you tap it and it start rolling. You have got to give that thing some momentum, especially if you're going uphill, right? You got to get behind it, but the more you get behind it and the more once you've started going, it's a wheel. So it's going to start rolling, you know? But the minute you slow down and the minute you stop pushing it, it's either going to stop, or if you're on a hill, what's going to happen? It's going to start going backwards, right? Because it's a huge concrete thing. So keep your wheel moving forward. Don't let that momentum stop. Even during the hard times, you've got to keep that momentum going. And Bria, I'm trying to read these comments. Oh, there's chats all over the place. Why don't you unmute, Bria, and why don't you talk about how hard it is to get your wheel moving again?
Well, I'm sorry I'm not on video, but I've got my 2-year-old granddaughter here and she's asleep in my bed, of course, like I'm not supposed to do, but and it's dark. But yes, I had a huge momentum going not that long ago, and I let that ball stop. I dare say I put one of those wedges underneath it to stop it myself. If you want to talk about that, just inadvertently, but looking back, I am responsible for that. That is my business. I stopped my momentum. So don't think I'm blaming anybody else, but I have been working for months to get that ball rolling again and get that momentum going. And I mean, consistent day-to-day work. Just trust me, get your ball rolling and keep it rolling. It can be excruciating at times to get it going again, but I believe that it's starting to go. I'm starting to gain momentum. So I'm seeing that harvest. I'm seeing that slowly happen, but put your trust in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you either. Not your team, not your upline, not your sideline. You've got to believe in yourself.
Your phone went out.
Got to have that vision.
Your phone went out.
It sounds very cliche, but you've got to see where you're going to guide that ball rolling again. Sorry. You've got to be able to see where you're going. You've got to have that vision.
Yeah.
Anyway, you just have to keep going. That's all it is. Don't let that ball stop.
Yeah. You have to do it in spite of your circumstances. People send their systems back. People don't have good results on their products. People quit underneath them. People have uplines that quit or quit checking on you. It doesn't matter. You do it in spite of anything that goes on, because this is your dream. This is what it's going to be. This is your legacy. This is what you're building for your family. This is what you're going to leave to your children. This is what you're building time freedom. You're building financial freedom. It can be anything that you can dream. Whatever it is that you want, that's what you can build with us. And you got to do it in spite of your circumstances, even when it's hard. Because I'm going to tell you, there's days when it's hard. Last week, I was sick as a dog every day, and I did it every day anyways. You just do it anyways. Hillary has got COVID. Bambi's kids have got COVID. They're on here anyways, because they know what this is going to give them. So you just do it in spite of your circumstances. You don't have to do it all day, every day, but you do something every day. And I've said forever, you can work this full-time, you can work this part-time, you can work this in your spare time, but you cannot work this business sometimes. Because when you close that door, for the days that you don't work, that sure enough, that's the day that your prospect wants to order. And if you're not available, they're going to go to whoever is. So keep your door open every single day. And I've got, let me see, continue to believe in yourself. And I'm trying to find Truett Kathy. And if those of you that know Kevin Scott know that he's one of my favorite speakers in the entire world. And he does a lot of Chick-fil-A leadership trainings. And Truett Kathy told him that businesses don't succeed or fail. People do. It's not a business. It's not going to be your business that succeeds or fails. It's going to be you. So you have to make that decision. So if you want to succeed as a leader, you be around people to help you get there. And those of you who are in them, I mean, can you even imagine trying to do this without your little group of people? I mean, every single day, they're there to remind you, they're there to encourage you. And I know that there's a few people on here that aren't in those groups. And when it's over with, message me and I'll put you in one, because there's nothing like it. Does anybody have anything they want to add to this tonight? I'm going to let y'all get off early, but I would love to hear from anybody who's been in the trenches, who's overcome something, or knows what it feels like to go through the hard times, but what it feels like when you don't quit. Rhonda. She should know I'm going to call on her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Will you talk on that just a little bit? Because I know you've been there.
For some reason, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me now?
No, I had my headphones in and I mean, I can just barely hear you.
Well, will you talk about the, going through a journey where it was a hard time, but you didn't quit, and what it is now?
Okay, which time? I'm just kidding.
Any of them.
Yeah, so I had a school year, was not a whole completed year, but I had a school year where things were really bad for me and I didn't work my business like I should. I did it every day, but not like I should have done it. And so, yes, my business suffered. I had an amazing team under me that really kept me going. And I lost a lot of momentum that year. Things just didn't go as well. But with God and, like I said, an amazing team, the people that were below me, the people, Melissa, above me, if I had not, kept pushing through and seeing the vision that I knew that I wanted for myself, even though I was experiencing something really, really bad in my life, I knew that this was going to be the vehicle to help me get out of the situation that I was in. So I kept pushing forward. My business suffered a little bit, but like I said, I never completely gave up on it. And then when I was able to walk away from that job because of this, and just trusted the Lord to lead me through it, and I came out a lot better on the other side. So it was just, you just can't give up. You can't quit when things get bad. When you don't have as many signups, that kind of thing, you just keep pushing forward and it pays off. So.
Yes, it does. Thank you very, very much. And I'm going to go ahead and declare it that she'll be an executive by the end of this year. So, and she's amazing. She's a fantastic leader. And there were times when it would have been easier for her to quit. There's times when it's easier for all of us to quit, and you just have to make that decision. You treat it like it's a business instead of like it's a hobby, and it'll pay you like a business instead of like a hobby. So anybody else want to say anything before I close it out? Well, just remember.
I want to say something.
Hey, Candace.
Hey, I'm sick too, so is my whole family.
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's fun. But I was just want to say, there was a lady in the X Team Adventures chat that needed some information, and she said that she got information from Hillary and Bambi, and they told her, you know, the person that invites her gets the credit, and that she said she hasn't seen integrity like that in a long time, and it's just really nice to be able to work with people like that that will support you.
I love that so much. And we've been like that from the beginning, and I don't ever expect it to change. I mean, with the leaders on this team and the leaders that are coming up on this team, there's no drama, and it is that's something we demand. We demand that integrity to be there. That way it's fair for everybody. And that way it's just, you know, there's no question about it. And I just love that too. And I love it. I mean, and the thing that I love more than anything is the things that y'all don't see. I mean, I say on a daily basis, the admins that are on that adventure page probably get 2 to 5 private messages from people asking for information. And every single one is looked up on that page to see who it belongs to, because they know it's not theirs. So it's the things that y'all don't see too, that y'all would just, it would just make you proud to be part of it, because it does me.
Melissa,
So thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for sharing that, because that just made my day.
Melissa, can I say a thank you
Yes,
along the
girl.
same lines?
Hey,
I was feeling that pain yesterday and today, and my Hillary came through for me and put me on a special call even, and that just, it boosted me. I needed to hear everything that happened last night and today. So you're right. This is a very encouraging company and group of ladies and gentlemen.
oh, go check your chickens, Becky.
I know it.
That's
Mhm.
gonna be my new saying from now on. I can't wait to start using it all the time. If y'all just knew, I'm just saying. If y'all had known me a year ago, from a year ago to now, it ain't even the same. But I'm embracing it. I'm embracing this new life as a little diva country girl out there checking on my watermelon and my cucumbers in my heels and in my muck boots with polka dots on them. You gotta do what you gotta do. Does anybody else have anything? Well, I love y'all so much, and I'm so thankful that all y'all got on here tonight. And I'll go ahead and declare Ephesians 3:20 over this team. God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can think or ask, because we honor him. His blessings are going to chase us down and overtake us. We are in the right place at the right time. And I declare a boldness to rise up in each and every one of you. God is going to open up supernatural doors because he can. We are going to rise in the ranks because people are going to seek us out. And we're always going to give him the honor and the glory for everything. I love you guys so much. Have a great night.
Good night.